I cannot think of a better industry to grow old in than this industry, because there's so many amazing opportunities to be part of the world we live in and not grow old. And to me, that's special. Well, when I was, I think maybe 6 or 7 years old, I'm from Copenhagen, Denmark, and my grandparents would live like a 7-hour boat ride from Copenhagen. And my parents would take me on this boat ride across the ocean. It was a long boat ride, and I always, for whatever reason, I always ended up on the upper deck. And there was a window, there was actually a crack. I could sit up there and look down, and I would look down into the kitchen. Denmark it's always cold there, so I would get that nice steam from the kitchen, and it would just kind of embrace me. I don't know anybody was saying that, but I would sit there and I was really fascinated by these chefs down in the kitchen, and that's where I really fell in love with the industry I'm in today. From that moment on, I never really wanted to be anything but a chef. I never wanted to be a fireman. I never wanted to be an accountant. I just wanted to be a chef. And that's how it happened so many years ago. Eventually, when I was done with school, I wanted to pursue this thing to be a chef. So at that time, you know, everybody had to be an apprentice. And I entered into a 4-year apprenticeship. What at that time was a really, and still is to this date as a matter of fact, a great hotel called Hotel Imperial. And I became an apprentice. It was really learning the trade from the ground up. I really wanted to learn much more. I also wanted to learn what is called the front of the house. So I actually took an apprenticeship. I joined an apprenticeship as a waiter, a professional waiter. I became an apprentice at the first American hotel that was built in Copenhagen. It was actually a Sheraton hotel. And I remember the first time I came into the restaurant as an apprentice, as a waiter, I saw something I never seen before, a shrimp cocktail. Something so simple as a shrimp cocktail with, you know, big shrimp, the tails on, that was leaning over the edge of a glass, and in the middle was cocktail sauce. That was literally the first experience I had about how food maybe was presented or was enjoyed in America. So I came to Atlanta. I came to work for a restaurant called The Midnight Sun. At that time, back in the mid-70s, early 70s, that was the best restaurant in Atlanta, literally in the southeast. And I started out like a regular line cook. And after a couple of years, I was actually promoted to the executive chef there. So after 6 years at the Midnight Sun, I moved to South Carolina, took over a restaurant there called The Anchorage House. And it was literally named after a couple of years the best restaurants in the Southeast. So in 1984, I decided to move back to Atlanta. Shortly after I came back, I got approached by Kay Goldstein, who called me and said if I would be interested in talking to her about a job as executive chef for Proof of the Pudding. I said, yes, I will come and talk to you, and that was really how it all started with Proof of the Pudding. Back when I joined Proof of the Pudding, it was the only place in Atlanta, probably in the Southeast, where you could get already prepared meals. You could buy pickled asparagus, sun-dried tomatoes, things we take for granted today, but it was really a concept that was tailored after Dean and DeLucas up in New York. And you know, it was going in, buying a I remember we did our own homemade stuffed croissant. I mean, it was so far ahead of its time. I guess maybe 4 years or 3 or 4 years after I joined Proof, we had an opportunity to expand, and we expanded to be the food service provider for the Carter Presidential Center. And I'll be honest, that was a big game changer for Proof of the Pudding, and also for me personally. Just being exposed to cooking for a former president and heads of state really took Proof up to a whole different level. And me personally, I guess to a different level, if that's how you say that. I always say that today we do everything in the hospitality industry except the hotel. Of course, we are known and still known for our catering. We kind of say that's what we hang our hat on, if that's how you can say that. But we do everything from golf tournaments in multiple states. We do convention centers, arenas. We manage facilities. We do restaurants. We literally do it all. And I think that is what is so unique about Proof of the Pudding. Food today is different than it was yesterday. We all know that. It's about, local food. It's about smaller plate presentations. It's about organic. There's so many things that is different, but there's a couple of things that really hasn't changed a bit. And that is, we still believe in quality when it comes down to food. We believe in providing great service, and always push ourselves to think different today than we were thinking yesterday. It's a wonderful industry to be in, because you get exposed to so many new things, not just about food, about technology, fashion. There's so much in it that you take in, and I just love that part. I really truly do. I just cannot get enough of it. So I learned a lot of stuff during the 50 years I've been a chef. But there's really 3 basic things I always tell young chefs today. You're gonna have to have passion, you're gonna have to have respect, and you're gonna have some love for cooking. Those are the 3 basic things that I think is the foundation for being a great chef today.